Good day, everyone, especially to our dearest Miss Tabisha. My name is Kirthana, and my group members name Umair, Reia, Sarah, and Dipin. So, before I begin, quick question: why do people see the world so differently? Why some people trust science while others reject it? Why are certain cultures seen as more important than others? And why do humans often believe they are more valuable than nature? These questions are not just opinions, they are shaped by philosophy. Today, our presentations will focus on justice, equality, and human dignity through four different philosophical topics, which is metaphysics, postmodernist relativism, decolonization, and the human concept. First, we will look at metaphysics and the questions of why anything exists at all. Then, we will discuss postmodernist relativism and how it can influence people to distrust science, especially in issues such as vaccination. After that, we will explore decolonization and how colonial ideas continue to affect the way society view culture and identity. Finally, we will examine the human concept and anthropocentrism, which is the belief that humans are more important than nature. Although these topics seem very different, they are all connected because they shape the way we think, the choices we make, and the way we treat other people and the world around us. To begin our first topic, I would like to pass it to Umair.
Hello to all, my name is Umair and I am from Sialkot, Pakistan. I am here in India as an AUP computer science student. So today I will discuss about my part in the MPU report, which is metaphysics. The question about metaphysics is why is there something rather than nothing? So the question, this question is very important in the more you can say all around the philosophy and all around the everything. So it challenges us to get the heart of existence and focus us to consider why we exist and why we are here, why we are in this world. In the second part, I discuss about some philosophical perspective, in most cases, explanation for existence. For example, I discuss about Leibniz's purpose of existence in the universe and everything else. In the third point, I have discussed quantum physics. For instance, demonstrate the particles may spontaneously arise from vacuum functions, and a certain philosopher, including David Lewis, have posited the potential for the universe existence as a brute fact. So in the whole summarization, I discussed the question of why anything exists and all remains unsolved inquiry in consequence of its transaction beyond the limits of humans. So this is done by me. This is my part of metaphysics. Thank you.
It is interesting that even after humans try to understand the meaning of existence, we still struggle to understand and respect each other. Now let's move on to next and hear more about it from Reia.
Postmodernist relativism is the idea that the truth is not always absolute or objective, but can be influenced by personal experiences, culture, and beliefs. Because of this, people may begin to question whether science is always neutral or fully reliable. This can be seen in the anti-vaccination movement. One key reason is distrust in scientific institutions and pharmaceutical companies. Some individuals believe these organizations may be influenced by profits or political interests, which leads them to question the safety and purpose of vaccines. Another factor is the tendency to value personal experiences over scientific evidence. Stories shared on social media about vaccine side effects can feel more convincing than data from large-scale studies, even though scientific research is based on controlled methods and extensive testing. In addition, when scientific guidelines change, such as during the COVID-19 pandemic, some people interpret this as inconsistency. However, these changes actually reflect how science evolves with new evidence. Finally, some individuals prefer natural immunity or alternative treatments, believing they are safer or more natural even without strong scientific support. So overall, these perspectives reflect postmodernist relativism, but scientific evidence continues to show that vaccines are safe, effective, and essential for public health.
And that brings us to another question. If people can be influenced by ideas, what happens when an entire society has been influenced for centuries? Because sometimes the way we think is not completely our own. Some ideas have been passed down for so long that we do not even realize they came from colonial history. Now, Sarah will explain how these ideas connect to decolonization.
Cultural globalization promotes ideas such as anthropocentrism, egoism, Eurocentrism, secularism, and liberalism that seem to colonize minds and souls of Malaysians. Anthropocentrism is a mindset where humans feel superior to nature. Influenced by Western globalization, this has led to a culture of selfishness, manifesting in destructive actions like illegal logging. This ties closely to egoism, where those in authority may focus solely on immediate rewards that benefits them personally. When authorities overlook long-term consequences for short-term gain, it creates an ethical dilemma, leaving society to struggle with what is right versus what is profitable. Next, we look at Eurocentrism, the tendency to view Europe tradition and culture as the universal pattern. This can unfortunately distort our own history, making the West seem superior. While we can appreciate European influence in Malaysian architecture, we must remain grounded in our own heritage. This also connects to rationalism, which prioritizes logic above all else. In Malaysia, this often creates a social divide because religion is based on faith. It is sometimes unfairly labeled as irrational, causing a rift between our political system and our spiritual beliefs. Secularism aims to remove religion from public life, but in Malaysian context, this is dangerous. It risks stripping away the moral guidance that religion provides for ethical decision making. Lastly, liberalism, while advocating for autonomy, often clashes with our national identity and traditional values. Often, these ideologies are bluntly adopted or feared due to a lack of understanding, leading to a sense of intellectual colonization. Now I'll pass it to my other group members for their part.
And even after we change the way we think about culture and history, there is still one more question. How do humans see themselves compared to everything else? Do we see ourselves as part of nature or something even more important than that? This is the idea behind anthropocentrism, which is the belief that humans are more valuable than the environment around them. To explain this further, let's move on to our final topic, the human concept by Dipin.
So, hi everyone, it's me Dipin. Today I'm going to talk about human concept in philosophy. First of all, the human concept generally refers to the way we understand what it means to be how human, both as individual and a species. It explored across fields like philosophy. There are some religions that have got different principles in Malaysia. This religion provides principles that protect dignity, morality, and cultural identity. Some of them are Islam, which has the concept of Khalifa, and Buddhism, which is the principle of the middle path, and Christianity, which is the concept of human dignity and love, whereas Hinduism is the concept of dharma, moral duty and rightness. In conclusion, the human concept in Islam, Buddhism, Christianity and Hinduism emphasize responsibility, morality, dignity among the Malaysian peoples to keep the balance to preserve their identity and dignity. Thank you so much.
In conclusion, all the issues we discussed today may seem different, but they are connected by the same idea: how we value human beings and the world around us. Whether it is the way we treat nature, the way we view different culture, the beliefs we choose to follow, or the decisions we make about public health. Every issue involves justice, equality, and human dignity. This presentation shows us that philosophy is not just about theories of famous thinkers. It influences the choice we make every day. It affects whether we treat others fairly, whether we respect different perspectives, and whether we think about the impact of our actions on society. If we want a better and more equal society, we must not only understand these ideas, but also apply them in real life. That's it from me and my group members. Thank you.